Okay, so here we go. We're going to take a look at the form packet here. So, like I said before, some of the formatting got wonky on this. So if something doesn't make sense that's at the bottom of the page, look over to the next column or look onto the next page. So for example, our geometric sculptures here and our organic sculptures up here. We went over all of this information in class. So we should be good here. So let's look at some of the exercises. So to start with, shade these spheres. That actually got pushed over to here. So we're going to shade these spheres. Here's our light source. So the light's coming out from this direction. So we're going to shade opposite. So piece of the sphere that's furthest away is going to be the darkest. It's going to be subtly different on each of the spheres. So that's just our darkest portion right there. And then, since we have a curved surface, we want to shade with a gradient. So we want to start off dark and work our way over to a light area. So we really want to work on making that gradient, making that subtle transition from dark to light. As we work over towards the light source. And we can also work the other direction. We can take our eraser and erase out our highlight here and work the other direction a little bit. We want to try to work on getting that shading as smooth and uniform as possible. Okay? So that's how we do that. And we'll work our way through each of the spheres, making the highlights the part of the sphere that is closest to the light source in each example. And it changes just a little bit. All right, the next one is turn these squares into cubes using intuitive perspective and shade them. So that's on the next page. So you're going to read what to do and then turn the page. So intuitive perspective means that we don't have a vanishing point. So all we need to do for this is 3 diagonals on this. Make boxes. So this is just like the way you used to probably make 3D boxes. Probably done this before. All right, and then we're going to shade them. So we have a light source up here, so it's above and to the right. So I'm going to make, for instance, this surface a little darker. If I use the side of my my wooden pencil, I can get fairly flat and uniform shading. I'll put a little tone up top. This side's going to be hidden, so it'll be dark. And then no tone or maybe a little bit of tone on top. All right. I'll just finish out with this one. Easy. Okay? Next, turn these squares into cubes using 1 point perspective, shade them. So here's our vanishing point. I made a little dot for you. So, did you make your own vanishing point?
No, kind of.
If you made your own vanishing point and used it for all of those cubes, you're good.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Alright.
Key things to remember with 1 point perspective though, we do want the vanishing point to be real close to the center of our image. Other teachers won't tell you that because they don't know as much as I know. I got deep in this perspective game. You think I taught you everything I know? Not even close. You guys can't handle some of the things I know about perspective. So we can start by just drawing all of the orthogonal lines. In this last box, we're only going to see the top of it because it's directly under the vanishing point. Right, so all of those have orthogonals. And then we're going to make vertical lines to make the backs. Vertical line here, and horizontal lines. Horizontal line here. All right. And then we'll shade them. So this side is going to be hidden. This side's going to be hidden. So these two sides will be dark. Yeah, those are probably about the same darkness. This side might be a little bit darker. Looks pretty close. Sure. We might clean them up a little bit. Alright, I've got a lot of chatter happening right now, so I'm going to assume that it's safe for me to go on. And if you don't do this right in your packet, I'm going to be very disappointed. And I think we know who I'm talking to. Alright, next one, 2 point perspective. Oh, sorry. Instructions for this one are down here. Draw 3 more cubes using 2 point perspective. Shade them. I'll just do one since you guys are such bosses at this. So, for my 2 point perspective, let's draw one up above the horizon. That's a little harder. I'll start with my vertical line. From the top and bottom of my vertical line, I'm going to connect, drawing orthogonals. I'm going to do that on the left-hand side, and I'm going to do it again on the right-hand side. All right. Next, I'm going to draw the back edges. Here. Here. I'm going to draw orthogonals from those back corners to the vanishing points. Okay. All right. I'm going to look at where my light source is. Which surfaces is it hitting? Which surfaces will it not be hitting? So this one's going to be pretty well hidden. So this will be kind of medium to dark. Go back in. I should darken the lines of my box. So let's darken that real quick. And you can erase your orthogonals if you'd like. If you drew them lightly, you can leave them in there. Let me get even darker on my box's bottom here. Absolutely. So I can erase these. for sure. All right, so I need to do 3 of those total. So I need to do 2 more. What's that?
I drew 4. This is like supposed to do 3 more besides the one in
Yeah, you should have 4 total. So you should draw 3 additional ones. What was your question?
the right side is lighter.
Yeah, probably. I'm gonna say yeah. All right. Draw 3 geometric forms using linear perspective and 3 organic forms. Shade them. All right. So an example of a geometric form using linear perspective. Let's just keep this simple. We'll do 1 point perspective. Is that all right with everybody? Okay. So our vanishing point will be right here. So we're gonna make this like a little more interesting than a box. Do like an L shape. Okay. Like an L shape. I'm doing like an L shape, just using vertical and horizontal lines. All right, so from here, I'm going to draw my orthogonal lines, give my geometric shape some thickness. Okay, and then I'm going to draw the back. So the back I'm going to do like right here. So do you see how nice it is to have a clear ruler and be able to like see your lines through it when you're trying to make parallel lines? Super nice. I used to have clear rulers for everybody.
They broke them. They probably broke them.
Yeah. So every time you sword fight with my rulers or screw around with them, I want you to remember that that is why we cannot have nice things.
That's tough.
Yeah. Sorry. But you know what? If you guys want to buy a nice clear ruler and bring it in, I highly recommend it. Especially the ones with the little grids on them. They're amazing.
Not expensive. I'll buy a set.
So I need to figure out where my light source is. I'm gonna make it up here to the right. I'm gonna draw my little sundial. Change my form here. Alright, so I'm going to have kind of shadow back here because it's hidden from my light source. I can add a little bit of tone to these sides if I want to, but I don't necessarily need to, and not too much. For my organic form, make a little weird little moon wedge up here. So I've got light coming from the same areas, so I'm going to have kind of highlight on here, and then shadow over here. Just kind of a little crescent-y shape. Like I said before, when you have organic shapes, they're not really going to have names necessarily, right? Because they're not geometric shapes. They're not regular regulated shapes. So you're going to have like kind of crescent shape or kidney shapes. Okay, I'm going to ask real nicely that everybody be quiet because you're really distracting. Please. I said nicely. So please. Alright, I want a nice gradient. So I want to think about where the darkest areas are going to be. I want to think about slow transitions over to light areas. I also probably want to finish by kind of pulling with my eraser a little bit. All right, so I'll do 3 of each of those. Just 1 of each to start. Next, sketch and imagine sculpture from the front, side, middle, and bottom and top. Make each view different. So, just kind of figure out. Start by kind of figuring out the outline and profile of our sculpture. Alright, and then I want to, the exercise here is to kind of turn this shape in my mind and try to figure out what it looks like from different angles. Okay, so this will be my front view. It's going to be my side. And the side's going to look kind of like this. We're going to have the arm coming up like this, sort of. Maybe I want this to go way out. Maybe it's got a big, paunchy belly. So I can kind of compare, by lining things up, where each spot on the sculpture should be. Maybe I thicken this on. But I can also come in and shade it if I want to kind of show the volume of it. What did I say? Front, side, bottom, and top. So I might come in, like I said earlier, and shade this to show the form. Okay. Kind of continue to work my way through like that. Does anybody have any questions? Top and bottom. So I just kind of imagine what it looks like from the top. Got like this circle form on top, right? That's the first thing I see. Looking at this, belly's gonna stick out like this. Arms. Gonna stick out like this. And maybe those legs stick out to the side. Stick out further down here. So if I look at where these line up and use this as a guide for positioning things, these arms should stick out further.
Wait, the spherical shape underneath the top circle, is that his belly or is that his torso?
There's his head, here's his
No,
torso.
the one on top.
On top, that's his belly because it sticks out here from my side view.
That's a belly?
Yeah. What did you think it was?
Wait. If the belly is so big, how can you see the legs underneath?
The legs are sticking out to the side.
Are
See?
they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I should maybe bring them in a little bit though. Maybe more like this. And I can check to make sure everything lines up, see? Because it should be the same width. Each of these points should be at the same width. Any questions on any of this? All right, fantastic.